Hi, and welcome to Student Record Database Management System. So let me show you guys how this works. Here we have the transcript, and here are supposed to be units, grades, student ID, names, and course code. Okay, so total score, average, and ranking. Okay, and if you look here, the student details has been added onto the database. Okay, what we can do now is we can always reset and add other students. So let's say the student's information is that, and the name of this student, let's say, is Wills. Okay, Wills, yuck. And there, let's say score is that. Alright. Okay, all we then need to do is to click on the student result. There we go. That's the student result, and right underneath here we can see Will's details there. You can see Will's student ID there. Okay, now let's check out the transcript. There we go. There, and we can all even print it out. There, the printer works. We can delete if we want. Select whatever you want to delete, click on delete. There we go, that record is gone. Okay, and we can reset it. As you've seen, we can exit. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to take you guys straight into Java NetBeans, but before then, the code for this very program will be made available for the channel members. If you are a channel member, you will get this code for free. And to be a channel member, all you need to do is pay £4.90, and that will make you a channel member for 1 month. So with that, let's go straight into Java NetBeans and put this program together. Hi, and welcome to Java NetBeans Student Record Database System. I'm going to start by clicking on New Project, and right there I'm going to select Java Application, click on Next. And let's give it a name. I'll call it student data. Yeah, that's fine. Let's copy that and uncheck the main class. Click on finish. Okay, now that the project file is ready right there, let's right click on it and we select new, then we select Java frame. Let's give that a name, student data, and right there student data as well. Click on finish. Alright, our form is ready now, or our frame. Right click on it, let's select set layout and select absolute layout. Alright, right click on it again, select properties, select code right here, and let's change the size to 1400 by 800, and you see where we have generate center, make sure it's checked, and there. Okay, select the palette and let's select panel there, just draw that here. Okay, the next thing is to go straight to the properties and let's select the border. Click on the border. I'm going to select titled border right here, and on the title border, let's give it a name. I just call that student records. Student records. Change the font size to maybe about 14. Make that bold. Click on that, and the next thing is let's go to the border here. Click on border. Let's see, add line border, and change this to about 12. Make it a little bit thick, and let's change the color of that very border. I'm going to select the RGB and just change this one to 95, 158, and 160. Click on OK and click on OK. The Choice is yours if you want to make the corner rounded, but I'm going to leave it squared. Alright, click on OK again. There we go. Look at how that looks. If you want, you can change the color of this font, but I'm going to right click and just let's select set layout and select absolute layout. Alright, now the next thing I want to do is maybe change the color of the background as well. Select that and go back in there, and let's go to background color. The background color, I'm going to change that to RGB again and just change that to 176, and that will be 224 and 230. Okay, and you see the alpha, I'm going to make the alpha 0, and there we go. Yeah, see how that looks like now. Okay, I'm going to copy this, just copy it, and I will paste it right here anyway. Paste there, drag it and just minimize it, and just reposition it the way I want. This is going to be for my transcript, so I can just call that transcript. Okay, let's go straight to the properties. Inside the properties, I'm going to change that to transcript. Click on the border, and here the name there, let's change that to transcript. Right there, and I think 14 might be too small. Make it 24. Yeah. Right, I'll change this to 24 as well. Okay, click on OK. There we go. That looks much better. Now the next thing I would like to do is to add, let me add a table right below. Let's come right there, grab and just add a table here. Okay, let's go to the properties for this table, and you see where we have model there. Click on that. Now I'm going to change all of these properties as follows. So this is going to be, let's say that is going to be student. I'll be student underscore ID. This will be course code underscore course code, and here I'm going to have, let's say we have mathematics there, and we have English here, let's add more rows. Move this up anyway. Let's take this, or bring this down. More rows. Okay, the rows here, or more columns actually. The rows will be 0, and let's just pick that up. And right there, in total I have 13 columns. Now I'm just going to click on OK, and there we go. Alright, so I'm going to come up here and add as follows. Let's come in here and add a label. One label here. Okay, and I need about 10 of those or more. Okay, right, let's do it this way. We need these, and let's grab a text box or text field, paste that here. I need 3 of those. Let's increase the font size. Come into the properties, maybe I'll make that about 20 bold. Yeah, and that will be student name and so on. Okay, student ID. Student ID. Let's see, put a space there. Student ID column. I'll just copy that across. So this will be name, surname, and the next one I'm going to have a combo box. Let's see, combo box here. I need about 3 of these as well. Let's copy that and paste. Copy, paste. Copy that, paste for the combo box. Okay, and for the subjects I'm going to need about, I'm going to need 8 subjects in total. Copy and paste. Move that here. Just copy this across. Right. So I will speed up the whole process, then I will get back to you guys. But before then, I need a text area here. There we go. So let's speed it all up and I'll get back to you guys shortly. Okay guys, this is how the whole system looks now. Alright, but when I run this program, what I want to achieve is I want the background to be similar to this very background there. So let me come down here. I'm going to right click there and just let's go to event, windows, and we select window activates this very event there. So right in there, I'm going to enter the following. Let's say this dot. That will be get content plane. Okay, dot set. Let's come back and say dot set background color. This very one here. But in my case, I want new color because the color I intend to use is going to be okay, let me use blue, powdered blue dot abstract windows 2 dot color, and that is going to be 176 by 224 by 230 here. There. Okay, I think this is case sensitive. I'm going to change that to uppercase. Right. Okay, I'm going to run it now and let's see how the background color is going to look like now. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you see the background color has changed to powdered blue. I'm also going to change the color of these buttons. So let's do one thing. I'm going to stop it from running and go in here. And these buttons, let me select them all and I will change those to candidate blue. Let's see, candidate blue. Let's come in here to background. And I'm going to use RGB, and the candidate blue should be 95 by 158 by 160, and the alpha I'm going to make that 0. Let's click on OK. Let's see. Alright, but it's not changing. Let's run it and see how it's going to look like. Okay, when the programs run, yeah, it does change. Okay, that's fine. Okay then. But is that candidate blue? It does look like it. Okay, that's alright. Now the next thing I want to do is, you see this text box, each of these text box, I will like the end user not to be able to enter any other character but numbers. So what I'm going to do is right click and let's go to event, and we select key press or key type. Click on key type. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to declare a variable here, and I'll just call it char number, I number. Okay, and I number equals value dot get key char, enter a column there, and that is going to be if not, I'm going to say if not character, yeah, if not character dot is digit, or is it that is it is digit is I number, then what I want the system to do is as follows. So I have one here, two here. Okay, let's say or, okay, let's go down here and say or I number is very one, copy that and just paste it in there, equals key event dots v underscore backspace, right? Okay, or I number equals key event dot vk underscore delete. So in that case I want you to evaluate and then consume whatever is there, right? Okay, so okay, I will now speed that up for the other text box. So but first thing first, let's run that and see how it looks like, and I'll speed the rest up. Okay, the system is running. I'm now going to use an on-screen keyboard. So right in there, and let's try any of these. You see nothing is happening, but if I select numbers, look at that. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Alright, so I'm going to repeat the same thing for the other text box, and I will get back to you guys shortly. Okay, so as for the other text box, I will now just copy this up to here, just copy that and paste. Repeat the same thing for the rest, and that'll be all. Okay guys, those are the lines of code that will prevent the end user from entering just anyhow values. Okay, that's done for all of the text box. So let's run it again and see. Okay, let's try out the other text box here. Nothing is happening. Yeah, that's fine. Yep, and so on. So those are working fine. No, and there, that is it. All is fine. Okay, I'm now going to take care of the exit. So let's close this and just let's take care of the exit. And right there, I had to speed that up. Those are the lines of code for exit, but you must declare this variable here, private jframe frame, and then you can enter this for the exit. So the other one is I'm going to take care of the reset, and right above the exit are the lines of code for reset. Okay, so have a good look at that, because I'm going to run it now. and we just try both out, both exit and reset. So these lines of code here should be able to clear all of my text box on the system. So let's run it and see. Okay guys, let's try it out. Right, and enter student reference there. Name of student, let's say the student is, or let's go for Sally, and surname, let's say. Okay, so let's at least enter something here. And when we then click on reset, there we go, that's fine. And this works as well. No, yes, okay, that's fine. The reset is working and exit is working. Okay, the next thing I want to do now is to create all of the database, or the database that will be required for this project itself. So let me show it to you here in SQLite. That is the database. Let's click on modify. I've already created the database, and there we go. Those are my columns from student ID, course code, math, English, biology, computing, chemistry, physics, art, math, business, total score, average, and ranking. Okay, why the student ID is my primary key. Okay, let's click on OK and close this. Alright, now the next thing I want to do is to come right here. You see where I have my main project. I want to copy my database. That's the database itself, and here I have the SQL JDBC driver 3.2 3.1. If you guys want this very driver, you're going to have to download it, and on my employee database management system there's a tutorial on it on how to download this. You can always download it online. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to copy these two files. I'm going to copy them, and let's go into where my main project is, and I'll paste it right in here. There we go. That's the student database, and that is the SQLite JDBC driver. Right, minimize that. Now the next thing I want to do with those two files is I'm going to come here, right here, student database. Okay, I now need the library here. There's the library. Right click on the library itself and click on add jar file. Okay, the jar file that I want to add, although I have one in my employee, but I want this very one that I've just copied into my student database. Student database, there we go. There we go, that's it right there. Yeah. So if you look in here now, the file is right there. Okay. Now the next thing we want to do is we go straight into services, and the services we want to click on the driver, add new driver, and the driver we want to add now, click on add, and that is the driver. You can also find it wherever you have added it. I added it onto my student database, this very one. There we go. Okay, just click on open and click on OK, and that'll be all there. So if I come into the driver now, and that is my SQL driver right there. Okay, the next thing we need to do now is we need to connect the database itself. Right click on database, new connection, click on new connection, and let's select SQL driver right there. Click on add. Okay, let me select this first and click on that, then click on next, and in here I'm going to now locate the address of my database itself, Okay, now that I've specified that I want to use the SQL driver. Okay, let's locate my database, which is right here. That is it. But instead of this, let's right click on the folder, right click on it and select copy address as text, and come right here. You see where we have less than file and greater than. Highlight it and get rid of that. Paste the address that I've just copied and enter backslash, enter student. That is the name of my file, student.db. That's the name of the database right here. Look at it, student. So it's student.db. okay, minimize that. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to test it and make sure it works as expected. Click on test, and there we go, connection succeeded. Okay, that's fine. Then click on finish. There, as you can see, that is my connection right there. Okay, so if you want, you can have a look at the table itself. Alright, that is fine. So we finish with service tab. Alright, back in here, the next thing is to write a couple of lines of code to validate the entries that are entered in here onto my table, and transcript delete. So let me just compile and run it. That is it, guys. The system is working as expected, apart from these 3 buttons that I'm yet to take care of. Reset works there, and exit works as well. That's good. Okay guys, let's go ahead with the connection for this database. The first thing I'm going to do is to come straight to where I have initialize, or no, right here, right underneath my public class, and there I will first of all take care of the connection. So connect, I'm going to say that is no. Then I'm going to go for prepared statements, and for the prepared statements I will declare my variable as, or my object as that. There we go. Then the next thing is going to be my result set, and that I will represent that with rs equals nothing as well. Now let me go for my default table, paste that in there, and I'm gonna give my object that very name. So that's the instant name equals new default mode, default table mode. There we go. No, there's parentheses there. Now that is taken care of. So let me come down here. You see the connect. So I'm going to say can equals student database. Copy all of that. Student database. Okay, student database. Okay, let's just say dot connect db. So the connect db itself, that's going to be a procedure, public procedure that I have to take care of. So there will be an error for now. I'm going to write my public procedure in there. So that's going to be public. I'm going to call it static, public static connection, and that connection is going to be this connect db. So I'm going to copy that and just paste that in there. right there, and enter curly braces there. Move that up so that you guys can see it there. Okay, so what we want to do now is I'm going to use try catch whatever error that might occur. So here I'm going to say catch, and that is going to be exception E, and enter curly braces there. So that's going to be J option pane dot show message if there's any problem. Just show message dialog, and that will be no comma there. And right there I'm going to say return nothing. There we go. Alright, so that is taken care of. So right in here I'm going to say class, class dot for name, come on, and that is going to be arg dot SQLite dot jdbc. Hopefully this should help with, or that should take care of the connect. Now the next thing we want to do is we now want connection, this zero connection. Copy that and just paste it here. Connection equals connection con, that will be the driver now, the driver manager dot get connection here, and my connection is going to be JDBC. Enter that in there, JDBC column SQLite column, the name of my database, and that is known as student. Student dot db, and enter a column here, and we want it to return there. Right, what else? Let's correct this error here. So the P is supposed to be lowercase. There we go. See, all the errors are gone, and where I need initialize it, the error is gone there as well. Okay, now what is left for me to do is just to now use the button to the whole database execution really. So let's come in here and scroll right down. I actually call it ranking. I don't know, maybe I should change the name to student result. Let's change the name to student result. Student result. Okay, that seems to be too large. Okay, let's may have to reduce the font size, and that's come in here and just reduce the font size. 36, that's too much. Let's reduce it. 24. Okay, I'll make the rest 24 then, or maybe 28 even. Let's set it for 30 and see. Alright, 30 is fine, so change the rest to 30 as well. That's fine. Okay, so that's taken care of. Okay, let's right click on this button and go to event action perform, and right in here, right inside this button, what I'm going to do to connect my database is I'm going to use the following. Let's say string. The string is SQL equals, let's use SQL insert into, that will be student, that's the name of my database. Insert into student the following. So what do I want the system to insert? I would like the system to insert as follows. The first one is student ID. That's one of my columns there. Okay, and the next one is going to be course code, followed by math, English. Make sure you enter comma in there. Then I have biology, computing. All of this data that I'm adding is actually the names for each of those columns. So, or the names for the columns. The next one is chemistry, physics. Right. So I'm gonna press enter so that you guys can see it, and followed by add math, comma, and let's go for business. Have total score. I have the average. The average will be used to calculate the student ranking. Then we have ranking here. There. So what is left now is I will now close this bracket here, enter value here, and enter in total, because I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 columns as a whole, and here I have 8 of those. That means I need 5 more, so I'm going to copy this and just paste it right here. There we go. I have 5 more there, and we just enter column right there. So that is the SQL that I will be using to call every single one of my columns. Now the next thing is I will use a try cache here. Try cache as follows, and let me enter cache right here, and that's going to be exception E there. And here what I would then do is I'm going to say prepared statement equals con dot, that will be prepared statement, and this prepared statement is an SQL1. Now prepared dot set string, and the string this time around is going to be 1 as the very first one, and the name. I now need the name of the text box, and that text box is for this student ID. So let's come in here, let's see student ID. There we go, student ID. That's it. Copy that, come right down inside this code and paste student ID here. So that's going to be the number 1. Okay, now dot get text there. That's the very first one taken care of. So whatever is in here goes to the very first column. I've only done it for student ID, and student ID, the subject and total, average and ranking. So let's come right here. So all I just need to do now, I'm going to copy this across. I need 13 in total. 2, 3. Okay, let's just copy it, speed it all up. So copy that and paste it right there. There we go. Now let's change this number. That'll be 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I now have that. So we need the name for each of these components. This is called what is called, I believe it's math. Yeah, and this one will be English anyway. Okay, let's come in right here. So change this one to math. Then we have English. Okay, what else do we have? Come on. Why should I give me error? It's English. Oh, there we go. Alright, and this one will be okay then. And that is biology. Now the next one is, let's see if that's going to be correct. Yeah, and followed by what? Chemistry. We have physics. Add math. Would that be A? Then we have business. Okay. And what else do we have? Now we have business, then okay, we have total, then come right here, average, and ranking, and there we go. That's it. But how come I have 13? That's 12. Let's see how many do we have in here. Let's see the columns. Oh, it's 13. One is missing. Okay, course code is the one missing. So come back here, grab course code. There we go. Course code, copy all of that. Come right here. So we have to rearrange the whole lot then. Paste. So course code will be the second one. Cut that off. And let me rearrange it properly. It's gonna be right here. There. And I'll just renumber it and get back to you guys. Okay, I've rearranged it. So now let's execute it. So I'm going to say pst.execute, enter parentheses. Okay, then I'm going to now use a message box. Let's copy this, typing it all over, and I'm just going to paste it right underneath here. Message box equals system, let's say system update completed. Yeah, there we go. Now we have to close the result and close the, let's say, result set dot close, and prepared as pst dot close as well. No, lowercase. Right, I'm coming here. There's something missing here. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, now with the cache, so if there's any problem, what do I want the system to do? I'm just going to copy all of these and just paste it right in there. let the system take care of that. Drop that in there. There we go. And that's all there is to that. So let's run the program now and see how it looks like. So I'm just going to click on run, and that's it, fellows. So let's enter student number there and name, and assuming the name is okay, let's say Grace, and let's select course code, and here just enter some grades. There we go. So I'm going to sort of like make this up because I haven't taken care of the calculation yet. There, and click on student result. There we go. So what I'm going to do now to check if this SQL database is working, I will now, let me open up my SQLite browser. There we go. And I will open up where I have my database, student data, and that is the student data there. Drag and drop. So let's see if the information is there. So that is the database itself. So we go to browse data. Yeah, there we go. That's it. That's the information for that very student. If you want to have a look, and that's it. See the student number, and right here that's the student number. Okay, so the database is working as expected, and that is a 2-2. all right, so what I'm gonna do now, I'm going to now write a code, okay, so that we can display all of the information on this table, and we also need to be able to display the information on this transcript. So I'm going to exit out, and let's try and make up a function to display the information on these very tables. So let's exit, yes, and right underneath here, scroll right down, I'm going to create a public function here. So let's say public, let's copy that and get rid of this one. Public void, I'm going to call it update table. Update table. So that's the name of my public function, and enter parentheses, curly braces here. Now let's say string SQL equals, now let's use selection statement. Select SQL selection statement. Select from, that would be student ID, right? Student ID, that is my first column, and after the student ID I think I have course code. Then I have the following subject. Let's see, I think this maths, English. Now let's look up the rest. Now just enter what I've copied and paste that in there. Those are that's the rest of the column, and let's enter, those are the columns. So let me just break it down so that you can see. That is it right there. Those are all the columns. If I leave it like this, you're going to end up with an error. So have a good look at it. I want it to be on one single line. So let's say undo that. Yeah, there we go. Now underneath here, I'm going to enter try cache here. So press enter, and here let's just say try. Okay, to prevent error, all this unnecessary error, let me come down here and just maybe just copy the cache statement and just dump it there. Let's look for a cache statement. There's one here, and copy it from here. I'm going to dump it right there, right underneath here. There we go. Now try cache. I'm going to say pst equals com dot prepare statement, and the statement is SQL statement, enter column, then result equals pst dot execute query, right there, column. Then let me go for, let's create an object, and we say object, let's say column data equals new object. So I've created an instance of an object there. Now in there I'm going to say 13 because the columns are 13 in total. Now let's use a while loop. Now right here we're going to say y result rs dot next. Okay, now enter curly braces there, equals the following column. I'm going to copy that, column data equals column data, and the first of the column data is that because it's an array, 0. So result dot get string, and the string that we get in this time around is going to be the student ID. That's the very first one here. Copy that, paste that here, student ID there, and followed by, that should be in quotes really, followed by the course code. So I'm going to copy that. There's 13, it's 13 in total, so that's 2. Okay, I have 13, and I'm just going to change the numbers around and get back to you guys. And there I have the arrays there. So the next one is going to be course code, followed by math, then we have English here, column English, and so on. Let's just speed that up as well. And there guys, so the next thing I'm going to do is to call my default table model that I call model dot add role, and the role we're adding is going to be column data there. So if you guys can still recall, the model right here is right up here, so it's declared right there. Look at it. Okay, so that is done. Now that is going to be used to call the table, no, to populate the table I mean. So the only way we can call the table is to actually initialize it. So okay, so for this public function to work, I'm going to have to call it on the initialize procedural area. But first thing, just have a good look at this, and you can see this variable here that I declared. You must also specify where the table is from. Okay, list all of the columns and specify by saying from the name of your whatever your table is. So the name of my table is called student, and that's it. So now let's call this update table, and we also need to create an object. So let's come right here, you see underneath here, I'm going to update that table first. Let's say First of all, let's just say object. I'm going to put that here. The object, and this object that I'm creating, I'm just going to call it column, like that, and it's an array. Let's say equals the following, all of my columns. That is it right there, all of my columns listed. Can you see it? Okay, the column col equals all of these columns. They are 13 in number. Look at them. Alright, now the next thing is, let's say the model. If you guys can still recall, that is where I declare my object model there. That's the instant name is called model. Okay, dot set, okay, set column identifier, and the column identifier is going to be column, which is right there. Now the next thing is, let's say jtable 1 dot set model. Right there, the model that we're setting is the variable that I call, or the instant that I call model. There we go. And to finish it up, you see the procedure that I wrote here, the public procedure, this very one update. We have to call it in the initialize component here. Where is it? Right here. See the initialize component, so I'm going to have to call that function there and enter column. There we go. So have a good look at it. Okay, so this is where I've added everything onto the table, and the function that will add all of my data onto my columns. Now let's try it out and you guys see how it looks like. Right there, guys, look at it. As soon as the database is opened, see it populated the table immediately. And if you guys can still recall, right at the beginning I actually changed the color of the table to powdered blue. That is it, and that's why it's powdered blue. Okay, that's good, looking good. So this one is ready. The transcript, we need to take care of the transcript. One other thing is, you see, when I enter all of these value in here, I would like you to work out everything, what the total is going to be, and this as well. Okay, so let's exit out and see if we can do something about that. Yeah, let's come back in here. Okay, to achieve that, because what I intend to do is when I enter all of my result here, I want this to output whatever grading it is automatically, total, average, and ranking. So let's go back into the code view, but on my updates, let's come to my update. I need to add 1 or 2 lines of code there. You see right here in the update, let's come here, use an if statement to check whatever we have on the table. So in here I'm going to say con equals my system itself, student data dot connect db. Connect db is one of the functions that was created earlier. Now let's say if the count itself, the connect itself, is not equals to empty value. Okay, let's enter a curly braces there. Then I want the following to happen. So I'm going to come right down here and let's close that bracket. Right, now let's go up there and see why the connect db is giving an error. Okay, let's see, take that off. All right, that's fine. Okay, now that is done. Okay, have a good look at this function, because if that is not done, we won't be able to, when we click on update, we won't be able to update whatever we have on the table. Okay, so now the next thing I would like to do is, let me come back in here. You see this student result, right click on it, event action and action perform. Let's see, these are the, or those are the columns. Okay, so what I want to do now is I'm going to create an object here. Okay, so let's say the object I'm creating there is going to be double, and I'm going to call it R for result, equals new double. Okay, in total let's say about 14. Right there, and this object, let's say R equals 0, the very first one, equals double dot pass double right there, and the very first one is going to be jtxt mass dot get text right there, and I'll repeat the same thing for the rest. Actually, there we go. So that is everything there. Okay, now I need to add up whatever value we have in here. So come right down, take note of that, this is inside the ranking. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I'm going to now add up every single array in here. So I'll create another one, I'll call that R8 equals, open a bracket, R0 plus R1 and so on. Let's speed that up there. So this very one that I've added everything here together, I'm going to, that will be for my average, this will be for the total. Okay, now let's use the string value to output this out. So let's say string average equals string dot format, and that is going to be, let's say pound, okay, percent dot, okay, that is, no, this should be 0, right, and here is going to be R8, there we go, that is for my average. So I can then say jtxt average dot set text equals variable average there. So that is for the average. I repeat the same thing for the total. So I'm just going to copy this and just change it around, paste that in there, and this will be total. So let's say total score. total score equals 9. This will be 9, right? Because that's the 9 I'm calling there. Now this will be total score here. Why? This one will be total score. Yeah, that's the name of that very object there. So that's taken care of. Now we then need an if statement to find out, so that we know if the student is first class, second class, upper, and whatever. Okay, so let's use an if statement to take care of that. Okay, right underneath here, maybe I should just put a break there so that we don't mix up this with the database one. Alright, so come right down and just say if R9 greater than and equals to 700, then I want JTXT ranking dot set text. Okay, that's gonna be first class, right? So let's say first class there. So that's the very first one, and I will then use else if for the rest. So let's come right down here and just say else if is greater than and equals to 600, and that will be 2i. Yeah. Now come right down. I'm going to copy it again. Another else if, let's say if it's 500, and that's going to be 2i. Else if again, if it's 400, the case of 400 will make that as third class. Let's come in there, third class. Okay, now if it's 300, I think that is going to be certificate of higher education. Let's say COHE. And if it's less than 200, no, this is 300. And finally 200, that is going to be a fail. Too bad. Right, that's it, done. Okay, have a good look at those lines of code, guys. Okay, take it down so that you can see it properly, and then we run the program. And this is where I start my database from. Let's just put database here. Okay, let's come this way so that you can see it. There we go. Right there, that's the rest of the database. And take it down. Okay, alright, and right underneath here, I'm going to then call my update table. That was the function that I created earlier. It's right here. Okay, so we have to call that so that it will officially update the table itself. Okay, there, that is it. So I'm going to now run it so that you guys see how it works. There we go. So let's enter student ID there, select whatever course code, and the student name is Johnny Cole. and there. Let's enter Johnny's grades there. Let's say 96, 90s as well, and maybe there. So all they need to do is just click on student result right here. So look at my table right now before I click on student result, and let's have a good look at Johnny Cole student ID. Now you click on OK there, and scroll right down. That is Johnny Cole details on the database itself. Okay, there, it is working how I want. So the next thing I like to do now is to be able to click on the transcript, and we see Johnny Cole's transcript there. And one other thing is to be able to print out the transcript, so I'm going to need a button here as well. So let's close that and go to the transcripts, right click, let's select events, action, perform. Okay, and right here are the lines of code for the transcript. I had to speed that up. Have a good look at it. And one other thing that I think we should add, that of the student code itself, this very one, student ID. Let's right click on that and find out the name of the student ID, copy that, and I'm going to paste that right up here. Let's say plus, that will be student ID, and okay, let's put a column here. That's my student ID, and let's say plus student ID dots get column. Right, that is the student ID there, so we know the right student. Now the next one we need to take care of is the delete. So let's come right down here. That is the delete, and while we're here, I might as well just create a button for, I want to create one button for, let's copy that, for print, and paste it there. So let's see the name of this button. That is the delete, and then this one will be the print, and change the names around. Okay, come in here and paste that in there. Right, let's arrange it properly. Okay, so all the buttons are in place. Right click on delete, and let's take care of that right here, the lines of code for delete. So let's come down here so that you guys can see it. That's it from here up to here. That is delete. Now let's go for print. Right click on print. There we go. Those are the lines of code for print from here down here. Okay, so let's run the system one more time. Compile and run. Okay guys, let's try out the system now. So I'm going to enter student details there, and the name, let's say the name is, let's say Kenny James. Course code, there we go, that's Kenny's result. And there. So let's come down here, click on student result. There we go. Second class, lower transcript, and that is Kenny Jones transcript. We're going to need to move this in a little bit. We can delete. Let's see, you see this one? Let's get rid of that. There we go, deleted. And can we print? Yes, we can. You see that, guys? That is how the system works. So the only error is just to move this in a little bit. That's one notch. Okay, and this needs to come down. So let's take care of that now. So let's go into transcript. Right there. So we enter next line there and get rid of this. Yeah, and let's run it one more time. Compile and run. Okay, we'll run it one more time. Let's enter a name here, and the name is going to be, first of all, student ID. Name is going to be, let's say, Jackson. Let's say Jackson Tom or Jackson Thomas. Right, as a course code, and there. Okay, this guy happens to be a very intelligent guy. There we go. So all we just need to do now is click on student results. There, that's it, a first class student. And we can print out the transcript. We can delete what we don't want there. We can print there. So with that, guys, I'm going to call it the end of this very advanced tutorial. And if you guys actually want these codes, all you need to do is just to pay £4.90 to be a member of the channel, and this code can officially be yours. I will email you this code if you are a member of the channel. Only a member of the channel can get this code. So with that, I'm going to call it the end of this tutorial. I suppose you guys enjoy it. You all have a nice day, and bye for now.